This is the 3pm Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
This is Animals by Maroon 5.
Hope you enjoyed some Maroon 5 to start off your afternoon. You are listening to the 3pm Takeover with Hope and Victoria, and we hope you're having an excellent start to the week.
Me too, and I don't quite understand that song, but never mind.
You know what would be great is if they did like a weirdly educational song and they just like talked through all the different kinds of, like the vertebrate chart, like birds are like this and they're animals and mammals, but to like the tune of a Maroon 5 song.
Yeah, that would be
great. And suddenly everyone's just like super knowledgeable about animals. I don't know. I would appreciate that. Maroon 5, your next assignment, your next whole album can just be educationally based.
And all these songs have meanings, but they're always really obscure, right? You know, when you watch someone get interviewed and they talk about their new song, and you're like, I wouldn't have picked that up as the meaning, but okay.
Or you watch the music video and you're like, oh,
now
is that what you're trying to convey? And then someone's like, no, that's like a metaphor for this. And you're like, I'm lost. This is too much for me.
And then you ever end up thinking, but that's so much effort just for a song. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's what they do with their life, though.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of effort into one song. It's like it's their full-time job or something.
Oh, wait, what?
Do they want to get paid for this or something? Oh, goodness.
I never thought of it like that. That's funny.
So something slightly strange happened to me a couple of weeks ago, and I only just realised because it happened again this week.
Oh, okay.
And I hadn't thought of it
Like
until like late last week. I was chatting with my dad, and I visited him over in the US over Christmas. And when I got there, he was like, oh, we went shopping to make sure you had like enough snacks and stuff that I know you'll like. And I swear, maybe out of like the 10 things he bought, about seven of them involved cranberries.
Are there that many cranberry-based snacks?
Oh, it turns out.
I do. Maybe in the US,
they're
they
like,
probably are.
we got this like cranberry muesli and these like chocolate-covered cranberries and these biscuits. And I was just like, I said,
so much
it's a lot of cranberries. And they're like, oh, but you love cranberries. I was like, I don't remember ever saying that. I feel like I once mentioned that I like chocolate-covered cranberries because I tried them once. And as like a side comment was like, oh, these are really nice. Where do you get them from? And now for some reason, everyone's just like, oh, Victoria loves cranberries.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's like people keep feeding me and I'm like, look, they're good, but I don't know if I love them.
You know what? I've had that exact same thing happen. It doesn't really happen now, but my mum got it into her head that I loved snow peas. And like, don't get me wrong, I like them, but I didn't love them. I think it was strange that I liked them as a child, but my mum for years would be like, look, I bought this giant, huge bag. Like, isn't it great? Don't you think you should take the entire thing for lunch? And I'd be like, no, I'm fine.
You're like, that's a lot of snow peas and I'm only one person.
Like, I like snow peas, but I don't love them.
Yeah.
But there's like this constant association with me and snow peas.
I guess it's like, you know, when you meet someone, you learn something about them and in your brain, you're like, that's how you, I guess, you associate that with them.
Yeah.
So you'll see something and you'll be like, oh, my friend loves Pride and Prejudice. And every time you see something Pride and Prejudice, all you think of, that person would love this thing because they love that. And they may have said once, oh, I read the book and I liked it.
Yeah,
but in your
but
mind,
they
you're like,
don't love it.
It is the hands down favorite thing in the whole entire world. So yeah, it turns out cranberries. Please don't offer me a cranberry if you see me. But in saying that,
I've never thought of you in cranberries.
They are in my muesli,
helps.
the one I have every morning. But
no, I mix it up. I have different style.
oh, it's like already in. But it's only because they're
like clustered in there.
Yeah, but it's only because the cranberry one of the brand I buy it's the only one that doesn't have nuts in it, or like it doesn't have sultanas and nuts, and I don't like sultanas and nuts in my muesli.
Oh, fair enough.
And so the only one available is the cranberry. So I think everyone's like, oh, Victoria loves cranberry. She has it every day for breakfast. And I'm like, it's more that it was the only option.
You know the best cranberry-based snack? Do you know craisins?
Yeah.
Yeah, how great are they?
Chocolate-covered craisins.
Oh, I've never had them.
That's what they're, because you don't have like a chocolate-covered cranberry because that's like too juicy.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
It's
Victoria,
like
tell me more about cranberries. I don't know anything.
Well, I do know everything about them because they're my favorite fruit.
I don't know as much as you do.
No, it's chocolate-covered craisins are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they're good, but they're not.
Do you like snow peas?
Yeah, and I was going to say...
Do you love them?
Weirdly, I think my mum went through a thing where she was kind of like... She used to get excited when she bought snow peas because I think once I said, like I tried them and I was like, oh, these are really good.
Yeah.
And so she'd buy them and be like, we're having snow peas with dinner. And I was like, okay. And she's like, just for you. And I'm like, okay. Like,
why?
Yeah.
Maybe
But she never used to buy like huge bags for me.
I think it's that association maybe when a parent finds a vegetable their child likes. They kind of latch onto it really, really deeply. But anyway, if there's a kind of strange food or strange something that you don't necessarily love but people think you do, let us know because we're interested in hearing.
Yeah, surely we're not the only ones.
We'll be right back after this. This is Eminem featuring Rihanna. Welcome back to Radio Northern Beaches, 88.7 and 90.3. You're listening to the 3 p.m. Takeover. I was trying to decide whether to say that or not because, you know how we were discussing how often we should say that? We thought we'd remind you all the time.
It was a nice pause for dramatic effect, though.
That's why I paused.
It was good.
I was debating whether to say.
Oh, I thought it was very well done.
Oh, thanks. Now, I've got something on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I have had a really cool Easter long weekend and I had family friends here from the UK and I had friends here from Japan and it was so good and I just got rid of my friend from New Zealand the other week and it kind of made me...
Squared that away, continue. Got rid of it.
It kind of meant that I did like many trips to the airport in the last couple of weeks.
I've
got issues with that.
I've done like a year's worth of quota for airport runs because lately I've been
Just
the only
generally?
person free.
Lately?
Yeah,
Oh.
I've done I think 5 in the last 2 weeks.
That's a lot of airport runs.
I have anxiety about parking and driving to the airport.
Domestic or international?
Both.
Oh.
Cousins.
Actually, I've done one domestic
siblings,
and then all
parents.
international.
I feel you. I hate driving to the airport. Luckily, they're all outside of peak hour times, really early in the morning or really late at night.
I
So
mostly
many.
just hate driving to the airport because if I'm driving there, I know that I'm not going somewhere. That's what I don't like about it.
Really?
Yeah. Because I never drive there if I'm then like going to get the plane.
Yeah,
So if I
true.
am driving there,
I never thought about
I know
that.
that someone else is traveling and I'm not. So then I'm sad.
Oh, I just find the whole situation too stressful. Like
The driving or the parking?
all of it. Like to get there, like
Everything.
the tunnels and changing lanes, and then like where you pop out and like going to domestic, international. Like if you're in the wrong lane, suddenly you're in a car park. Like it's
Yeah,
actually
you've
too
got to be
stressful.
on the ball.
Yeah, it's even when I'm like 100% alert, it is like too stressed. Like I don't get like anxious really about anything, but parking and driving to the
At
airport,
the airport?
actually brings physical anxiety for
Do
me.
you kind of like hide out close to the airport and then like sprint past and pick the person up when they call you?
It depends on the person because we'll pick up our cousins and I parked and met them in baggage claim, and then I had to like transfer them and then wait and then pick someone else up. Like I may as well have brought a sleeping bag and lived at the airport for the last week. I feel like
They have that really good but really stressful car park at domestic now where you can park for 10 minutes.
like the express pickup.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
parked there and then had to pay because even though I was only there for 2 minutes, the queue to get out took 10 minutes.
Oh no!
And then when you get there and you try to say that, they just don't want to hear it
oh, that's
because they must hear that all the time. So that car park gives me a bit of stress, so I try not to use it.
Yeah, we usually do a sit in the Macca's car park or Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I said at Krispy Kreme and I have a donut.
See, it always stresses me out because if I'm there, like sometimes I'll be there either too early to eat or like I've just had dinner and I'll be like, I feel bad because I'm not buying anything, but I'm like, what if someone comes out and asks me to leave because I'm not a paying customer? But I know that like half of the car park is in the exact same situation that I'm in. Like
I
no
think
one
that's a
really
good
parks
thing.
there for McDonald's. Everyone parks there because they're waiting for someone to land.
But I guess they get so much business from people doing that it's probably not that much of a big
Yeah,
deal.
true.
It's good. I mean, I always
I'll just, like-
get a donut when I wait because there's no other Krispy Kremes like anywhere in Sydney.
Or like I'll park and be like, I'll just have a singular apple pie, please.
Just a water,
Just one.
please.
Yeah.
Thanks, McDonald's.
No ice, thank you.
No ice. You can't even do anything for me.
But actually, no, the thing I do like about it, if I have to park and wait at the gate for someone, is the arrivals gate always makes me feel like, oh, because those people waiting for their loved ones to come home and the people always
Yeah,
like
that's
crying
cute.
with balloons and it's like that end scene in Love Actually.
Yeah.
And
I, was
I
thinking
always
about
think of that. Yeah, that's the only
is-
redeeming quality of the airport is the loving people at the
Yeah,
arrivals
arrival.
gate.
I actually can't remember the last time I waited in arrivals to greet someone. Like I've picked people up heap, but I've never like stood in arrivals and waited for someone. Like usually
You're waiting
like,
Macca's for the call?
No, I was going to say usually it's like they've not been the kind of person that I would wait for at arrivals. Like it's not someone unusual enough.
Really? Oh, yeah,
And
I
it's not
suppose.
like someone I'm really extra close to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's usually people are like waiting in arrivals for me, but then like I'm never there.
I
for
don't wait
anyone.
for people. People wait for me.
Because I'm usually the one that's been away.
Fair enough.
I'd like to pick someone up like that, but there's no one to pick up.
All right, I'll go
No
away
friends.
and you can come and wait at the airport for me, okay? You can have a little sign that says Victoria Bone on it, and I'll rush towards you and we'll embrace in the center of the gates A and B or C and D, depending where I land. And
Pretty much.
yeah,
And I've had that thing the last time I got picked up. The person was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I've been here for an hour," and they were waiting at like C and D instead of A and B.
they did. They didn't. They got to check the board, man.
I know, right? Airports are stressful.
My heart rate's like gone up talking about that. Let's go into a song.
Do you know what airports make me want to do?
What?
Bang my head against the wall.
What a convenient segue. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. Hope you enjoyed a bit of David Guetta.
Now I'm saying Guetta, but some people say Guetta.
Oh,
Guetta feels awkward.
I'm trying to be funny. I was sure it was Guetta. I always say Guetta just to be like really mean about it.
I know people
It sounds funny.
actually
Guetta.
say Guetta, but it's a bit
Oh,
silly.
really?
Yeah.
Sorry, David.
No, it's Guetta, I feel. I don't know.
And that was Sia, who has such an incredible voice.
You know what?
I forget how high she can go.
If I walked past David Guetta on a street, I would not know who he is. And he's responsible for like so many amazing songs.
I feel like I would know him if he still had the hairstyle from like 3 albums ago.
Was it long?
Yeah, I think it was long, but he's probably cut it short by now.
That's good though. You can have like the fortune and stuff, but not have everyone like recognize you. It'd be like if you were Sia, but you didn't have to wear your hair over your face.
I love her wigs that she wears though. They're so cool. They're great.
So like unhygienic and hot.
I'm sure they're clean.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't like the sound of it.
I hope, do you know what's coming up at the end of this week?
What week are we in? March? No.
It's almost
April.
the beginning of April.
Oh, April Fools.
Yeah. God, I hate April Fools. There's like only one nice prank you can do. And I feel like that's Rickrolling. That's about it.
What's Rickrolling?
You know, and like you have like a link that it might be like, oh, you should watch this new like hilarious cat video, and the person clicks it and it goes through to the Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick, what's his face? Never Gonna Give.
Yeah.
And it's just this thing called Rickrolling where
Oh, weird.
I don't know, it went like crazy on the internet, and every April Fool's
Not
comes
crazy
back.
in my domain. I saw
But
none of this.
every April Fool's it comes back, but there's always so
Okay.
many horrible April Fool's pranks. People like ask people out as a joke, and
Do you know what's interesting?
they're always awful. Like, you don't break someone's heart. Be nice. If you're gonna prank, please Rickroll.
We can never get through one April Fool's without there being some sort of prank gone wrong, even just at home with like Australian media. There's always some radio station or
Yeah.
some TV crew or someone that did something that went really badly wrong.
Like,
and then
went too far.
And then it's kind of an issue for a while. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a year where someone's not unintentionally crossed the line. It just gets boring.
Well, that'll give us content for next week's show. We'll talk about whoever stuffed
April
up.
Fool's disasters.
Exactly. But with April Fool's coming up, as much as I really don't like pranks. I don't like
Oh, neither they.
I don't
I'm
like pranking,
terrified.
and I don't like being pranked.
I never prank in case I get pranked back.
Exactly. But it got me wondering about the history of it, because I was like, how does that kind of thing come up? Like, was there some person who we all like universally was made fun of somehow? And
I thought there was a king or something.
interestingly, the origins are really unknown.
Okay.
Like, there's a few theories that I found, and one of them was it's called the New Year's Day move. Like, so in ancient cultures, they celebrated New Year's Day, like New Year's Day was April 1st. And then the other half, who had already moved to the new calendar, celebrated on January 1st. And so the people who were on the new calendar would call people April Fools, because technically they were like 4 months behind.
Oh, that makes sense. That's kind of cool.
But the problem with this is that the idea of this, like when the Gregorian calendar was introduced and like put into place, that is dated after the first recorded example of an April Fool's Day.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and so like people,
confusing.
I like looked up as much as I could. I couldn't find an origin for it.
I don't know why, but I just had some odd feeling it was something to do with some sort of
Like one person.
ancient king or something or other. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I feel like someone told me that once. I don't
couldn't
know.
really find evidence for like one person, which is really strange. And it just became like a thing. And weirdly, it's like international. It's not like,
Yeah,
oh,
it is
a
international.
majority of these countries celebrate in April and then half celebrate in like August. Like, it's everyone does it in April. And like, it's so, and there's some strange, like long standing like customs, like in Ireland. This one actually, like, it's called, it's like an important letter, and you have to like hand it on to the next person, and you got to try and not end up with it at the end of the day. Cause if you end up with it at the end of the day, you're the fool. Like inside, it's just like, it's like, haha, you're a fool.
When does that end? Like midnight?
It doesn't, yeah, I'm not 100%
Can you leave
sure.
it like next to someone who's asleep?
But I feel like you have to like convincingly give it to someone, be like, oh, like this is really important. Can you give this letter to so and so?
Okay.
And so the idea is, I guess, like on April Fool's, like no one gets mail because everyone's like, nope, nope.
That's funny.
But I found that one really interesting. That's like, it's so harmless.
Did you say that was in Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, in some other ones they had, so like lots of Nordic countries, their newspapers and news media outlets will publish exactly one false story.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
but
really
only
common.
one, no
they
more,
do
no
that
less.
here though.
Yeah.
They did it. The Manly Daily started that a few years ago. So next week on the show, we're going to talk about what the false Manly Daily article was, because that's always really funny each year to see what it is. There was the council had raised a petition to like consider renaming Manly Beach, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" Then the next day they were like, "Just kidding."
A lot of it was to do with Europe, so it was like Poland, Ireland, Nordic countries, and like the UK. But it was interesting. There was like all those, and it was just like India, because they have references to it in film and pop culture and like literature. So I'm not sure if it's actually
I know.
I don't think is it in the sense of it's a tradition more than it's an introduced Western thing, is what it feels like.
Yeah,
but it's been sort of like introduced into it.
There's a movie that I saw once when I was a child. I can't remember what it is, but it's some kind of like Indian Bollywood film, and she's getting set up for an arranged marriage, which she's annoyed about, but like at the end of the film she ends up being like really happy, and she gets to marry her best friend or whatever. But she gets an April's Fool's prank. Her family are like, "Don't worry, you can pick who you want," and they're like, "Just kidding, it's still an arranged marriage." And she's like, "Oh no!"
What a weird like plot twist. But
yeah, it's so weird. But that's like the only connection I can think of between India and an April Fool's joke is that film. And I can't remember what the film is, but I just remember that bit.
That poor girl.
No, it was a great film, and she was really happy. She married her best friend.
Oh,
like
that's
her male
nice.
best friend, and she was happy.
That's good. That's like
Crisis
a happy end.
Yeah,
happy ending. So, guys, if you're gonna prank, be nice. Don't be awful about it. Just rickroll people.
Well,
or hand them a quote unquote important letter.
As a responsible show, we are not calling and pranking any of our listeners because we're too kind for that. But next week on the show, you will hear about all the funny things that went wrong, because there always are things, and you will hear about Manly Daily.
So you got to stay tuned until next week. You can't touch that radio FM dial. You have to keep it there.
Keep the dial there.
88.7, 90.3 until this time next week.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches, and we have been talking about the history of April Fools. We've been talking about driving to the airport and all that grief, and we are moving on now to something totally different. What did we do last weekend?
Well, I, for one, ate a fair amount of chocolate.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Last weekend was Easter. And
not for any specific reason. I just was
not because it was Easter.
It's just a regular weekend, really. No, it was because of Easter.
So it was pretty great. I had 4 days of work and then 4 days off work.
Nice.
Which is pretty great. So I'm not complaining. But
I think everyone was celebrating with you.
I know, it's so good to have the long weekend. It's really refreshing. And I was thinking about Easter traditions, because I figured this is sort of like it's like my last big family Easter, because my parents are about to move interstate. And so that kind of got me all nostalgic thinking about Easter, and I was wondering how other people celebrate it.
The song we just played did not help.
Oh, no.
That song always makes it just...
When I was young,
makes me very... You could come to my family Easter celebrations, which like are non-existent, because my family's always away, funny. It turns out, and I have to do airport runs.
But no, so I was thinking, like, we always have a really nice...
you guys like hide Easter eggs and stuff, don't you?
We have Easter egg hunts,
yeah. That's so cute.
We write clues, but they're, like, quite detailed. You know, like 4 rhyming couplets per clue, and it's, like, quite difficult.
Oh,
like,
my
you've
goodness.
got to put some effort into it. And it's always, like, me and my parents and my boyfriend and 2 of our neighbours, and this year my aunt as well. So we have like, quite a big group. And so it's, like, lots of chocolate, lots of clues. It's a lot of fun. And, I really enjoy it. And I was thinking about how other people might celebrate Easter. So I thought that I would look up some Easter traditions from around the world.
Ooh.
And trust me, there are some strange ones.
Hit me with them. I'm excited.
When I say they're strange, they're strange. Okay, so this one is like so weird. So bear with me right here. I'm going to read it how it's written.
Okay.
In the Czech Republic, it is customary for men to get a special Easter whip that they use to then swat the women they fancy most.
Swat?
Swat, like a fly.
With a whip?
Yes.
Okay.
These women then give the man a decorated Easter egg or a handful of money as thanks for getting swatted. If the men are old enough, they also receive a shot of whiskey.
This is potentially the least feminist tradition I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know, isn't it so strange?
If a guy whipped me, I'd be like, you're going to get a knuckle sandwich, not a decorated Easter egg.
But look at this. While this sounds strange, it is considered very offensive if you don't get whipped, because it means that nobody likes you.
That sucks.
Crack out those Easter whips, kids. Isn't that the strangest thing you've ever heard? Do we have any Czech residents on the beaches? Any Czech hubs? People can tell us.
That is potentially up there with probably the strangest thing I've ever heard.
But that'll like stay in your mind now. People say, what's the weirdest thing you know? That'll be it.
Yeah.
How the Czechs celebrate Easter. Well, this is not as okay. They get kind of less wet from here. Easter is really fun in Cyprus when you're a child, but when you get a bit older, and especially when you're male,
There are whips.
no, there are not whips. It becomes very competitive, and young boys have to scour their villages or towns for scraps of wood to put into the communal bonfire. And the person whose family
is someone about to be burnt?
No.
Okay, good.
No ritual sacrifices. And then the people...
So it's not a fun Easter celebration then.
The neighbourhood that has the largest fire at the end of the day gets Easter bragging rights for the rest of the year.
What do these bragging rights include? Is that listed?
No.
How strange.
Some sort of rights about the fact that they built the biggest bonfire. I don't know. But only teenage boys can be responsible for going and finding the wood. Like, no one else can help.
Well, that makes sense. Do you know how productive teenage boys are? I lived with one when my brother was going through they'll sleep until like 2 p.m. and they'll get up for 3 hours and play video games. Like,
this is true.
If
them
your
out, right?
neighborhood rep is laying in their hands, I'm worried.
This is maybe a good way to motivate them. And I think this is actually quite cool. In Bermuda...
You know what else is a good way to motivate people? Whips. Anyway.
That'll get you out of bed and getting the wood.
Exactly. All right, take me somewhere else.
Okay, Bermuda.
Okay.
In Bermuda...
They lose people in the triangle?
No. People make and hand paint and fly kites to symbolise Christ rising from the grave.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I thought that was quite cool as well. Like, it's very literal,
Yeah.
but also very metaphorical, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, somehow it's both.
Yeah, which
quite
is weird.
nice.
It's kind of cool. I quite like that tradition.
Nice.
And then I actually think this is the coolest tradition ever, and I wish was a tradition here because it's exactly what my family love doing.
Hey, where are we moving to?
We're moving to Norway.
I'm already on board.
And in Norway, it is an Easter tradition to sit down with your family and read or watch a murder mystery together and try and find out who the killer is together as a family.
Oh, like those party kits you can get? Like a whodunit kit?
Yeah, except this is like TV shows. It's like watch an episode of, a TV show that has a murder in.
Oh, and like as a family, you try and work out before the end of the show who the killer is.
Yeah. Or same with a book.
Don't you do that anyway? Like throughout the whole thing, you're like, oh, they did it. Like every new person who comes on screen, you just say they did it to like hedge your bets. No, just me? Okay.
No, that's true. So most television stations in Norway only show murder mysteries over the Easter weekend.
Oh, wow.
And publishing companies will actually seek about making sure that murder mysteries that they are releasing are postponed so they are released in time for Easter.
That's
so that people will read them together over Easter to suss it out. And milk companies have special cartons made with mini murder mysteries on the labels, like in the week leading up to Easter.
That is amazing.
Isn't that really cool? Like, my family love murder mysteries. That would be awesome.
I want murder mystery milk in my tea.
I know. I want to be Norwegian. This is so great.
Let's just move to Norway anyway. It looks like a really beautiful place.
I know. I didn't, but now that's just
bonus.
Totally.
The fact that it has
added the cream on the
Nordic
cake.
crime fiction.
Is that a saying?
Cream on the cake. Only if you make the
it's
cream
not quite right,
from murder mystery cows. The only way I take my cream. Well, like the Nordic stew's probably the best crime shows. So it makes sense that like crime fiction's a really big part of it.
They do. I forgot that crime fiction. My mum loves
Scandinavian and Nordic crime fiction.
My mum loves
amazing.
Danish crime fiction shows.
Danish crime fiction shows are amazing.
Have you heard of one called The Eagle?
No, I watched The Bridge.
Like many of them. Yeah,
My
mum
really
watches
good.
The Bridge. My mum watches a lot from Denmark.
But no, they do amazing crime fiction. I think it's to do with like the topography and landscape because it's
it lends itself.
It's
to that.
almost gothic how cold and empty it can be in winter. So their shows are beautifully made because some of those wide shots you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, visually they're really really good. And last one.
Where's our last stop on this little international tour?
Well, we're still staying around the same area, going to Finland.
Okay, lovely,
and
lovely.
I think this is really cute. In Finland, it's customary to have a small patch of grass in some sort of box or container.
Okay.
And you watch it grow in the lead up to Easter, and it's you watch it and it symbolizes fertility and the start of spring. And once the grass has grown in your little container, you decorate it with little hand painted eggs and chickens.
That's quite cute.
So you have your own little patch of grass.
Oh. Do you think anyone does that with wheatgrass and like double up health? Once it's like done, they're like cut it,
tear it up and eat it.
Yeah.
It's a bit dramatic.
I said cut it up and put it in a smoothie, not rip it up and eat it.
True.
Get your head out of the Czech Republic. They're whips. That's very cute. I like the idea of like a mini
patch of grass.
Is it terrarium? Those little
terrarium.
Yeah, it's almost like that. That's really cute, but like
It
less
is.
moss.
Yeah. Isn't that fun though? I didn't know that so many weird and different things went on around the world at Easter. I mean, I never thought about it, but
Just thought it was chocolate eggs.
Yeah, I just kind of was stuck in my own little
Yeah.
Easter, to be fair.
If you guys have any cool family traditions that are cultural or just like family, let us know, because that's if you do the Finland thing with the patch of grass, like send us a photo of your little patch of grass that you guys decorated, because that's super cute.
That is really cool, isn't it?
With little, and if you have a
I'll do that
bunny, you
next
can like
year.
put the bunny on the grass.
No,
I
think that it's like hand-sized, the patch of grass.
You can get tiny bunnies.
True, it'd be a really tiny bunny.
We'll see you on the other side of this song. Enjoy. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of Avicii. Hey, brother. That song is so southern. I forget how southern it is until I hear like accents from
It
the
is a bit,
south.
although I feel like Avicii, I don't know why, but I think they're Scandinavian.
Maybe. But we've reached the end of our show somehow again. This happens every week. I'm like, how's this already the end of the show? And you know what it's time for, Hope?
Tell me.
Suburb focus.
It sure is. And you know what? We're on to one of my favourite suburbs this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to like work down on a map, which is like, it's tricky because it starts being lots in line with each other.
Yeah, it's
But-
not, Palm Beach is easy because we're very
Yeah.
and then suddenly they spread out and you're like, no.
I'm like trying to be fair. But what is next is a
Where are
suburb
we?
that
Where are we this week?
I love,
From Finland to
Scotland Island.
woo.
And I love Scotland Island because it's an island and I find that so weird. And what's strange is it's such a tiny place. I probably know about 8 or 9 people that live on Scotland Island, so I think I probably know everybody.
I was gonna say
Considering the size of it.
I feel like I know a fair amount of people that live on Scotland Island.
I know, but it's so
and you're always
small.
like, oh, I know this person lives there. They're like, oh yeah, they're our neighbours, and you're like, okay, like everyone knows each other.
Because get this, Scotland Island is only 1 kilometre in diameter.
Really,
It's really small,
that's
which is why I'm surprised that I know so many people there.
It's a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's really small, and its highest point is about 120 metres above sea level.
Wow,
It's really not big at all.
wow.
And I don't think there's not much on the island. There's a kindergarten and I think like a supermarket, like a really tiny independent one. But otherwise there's like not much else. They have to get the boat across to Church Point. But the history of Scotland Island goes back 18,000 years ago.
What? How? What?
Back to Aboriginal times. It used to be
What was
a
there?
hill in a river valley
Oh,
where
wow.
Indigenous Australians settled 18,000 years ago, and following the last ice age, sea levels rose and flooded the valley and formed the beginnings of the Pittwater area and made it into an island.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like one of the oldest mapped places in the entirety of the peninsula that you can like trace the history back.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's
I was not
interesting, hey?
expecting, I thought you'd be like, in 18 something, so and so settled there. Not 18,000
Not
years ago.
18,000 years ago. It's trippy, right?
Wow.
There are a lot of, yeah, it's so cool. There are a lot of small beaches around. They're mostly sort of like mud and mangroves and rocks and stuff. And there are a lot of caves.
Doesn't surprise
around the
me that
island
there's
as well.
a fair amount of beaches considering it's an island.
But they're all like separate ones.
Oh,
technically.
okay,
Like
yeah.
they're separated by like rocks and stuff, which is quite cool. The Europeans first settled on the island in 1788, which is still very early.
Those
Very, very early.
convicts got a lot further than I thought they did.
So pretty much
first like 10 years.
Yeah, so pretty much right after the establishment of the penal colony in Sydney Cove, and was originally named Pitt Island.
Oh, I'm glad they renamed it.
Yeah, Scotland Island is a little bit better. And then it was sold off quite a lot of times in the 19th century and was subdivided as like property lots in 1906.
Where do you live? The Pit. Hasn't exactly got quite the same ring to it as the island. People always like, where do you live? Oh, the island. You're like, Scotland Island? They're like, yeah, what are the island? You're like, good point. Just wanted to double check.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I whenever I meet someone who's from there, I feel like as if they're around like 8 years old or up, they're like, oh yeah, I drive a boat. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
All of them like, yeah, know how to drive boats. And I'm like,
Independent
I
living,
can't, like, yeah, I can't drive
I
a
can't
boat.
anything.
I can't drive
If I
a
lived
boat.
on an island, I couldn't get off.
I'd probably not. No, I'd be stuck there. I'd be like, this is my home now forever.
So because there's no road access to the island, the volunteer fire brigade there do, I guess, a lot of essential services that would normally be performed by other emergency service personnel. So they're very busy there and they do a great job. They're all volunteers. And
Good on them.
in other news, Scotland Island is actually quite a renowned hub for artists and musicians. I know they have a lot of art shows on the island, and it's home to a lot of like quite well-known like painting and sculpture groups on the northern
Wow.
beaches. They're actually on the island, which is quite cool.
I think everyone's glad they renamed it from the pit.
I know, right?
That's really cool.
It is, eh?
The more you know. I knew bits and bobs about Scotland Island, but I didn't. The 18th. I'm still reeling from the 18,000 year thing. Like that's crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed that about Scotland Island. I clearly have.
Fun fact. I know, it's so interesting, right? But
that's a good way to end our week.
It is, but something more exciting to announce. Next week we have one of our special shows.
I would drum roll if I had a snare drum.
Do you want to tell us what it's going to be?
It's going to be songs from movies.
Which is so cool.
And I will specify that as in like songs, original songs that were written for movies that aren't just like...
Like they became big songs, but they were made for a movie first.
So it's not just going to be like lots of random scores of like instrumental music for the hour.
No, it's going to be like
and I think,
singing songs.
I feel like you guys are going to be a little bit surprised by the number of songs that are actually from
originally from movies.
Yeah.
So there are songs that are well known that are like very much associated with a particular movie, but these are songs that have gone on to have fame in their own right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of the category we're going for. So make sure that you are here this time next week at 3 p.m. ready for our movie song special.
Maybe we won't tell you what movies they're from till the end of the show, and it could be like a little quiz.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
And you can see how many
we'll
you
like
get
drop
right.
hints.
Yeah, we'll make really bad puns like the whole way through the show. I know, get excited, guys. What a thing to look forward to. Only a week away. Have a great week. We'll see you on Friday for the repeat and next Wednesday for our movie song special.